Well, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. And you know, it's always a wake-up call for me when I come down into Vancouver from New Westminster, because I take the SkyTrain constantly, and I see all the young people, and I see the people who are coming into the city to work. And when you look at them and you see some of them are nodding off to sleep, some of them are sitting there, and you can see that there's a little bit of anticipation of what's going to happen that day with them. And probably some of it is where they live or where they aren't living. And so what we've come to the agreement is that we've got to find something that's going to help the people in our city and across the country. So what we're putting together, this coalition, has never been done before in the manner that we're doing it. And we want to start it here in British Columbia, and we want to take it right across to Newfoundland. So today we're going to give you some of the ideas and some of the things that we're doing. But some of the other people in our coalition are the BC Apartment Owners and Managers Association, the BC Nonprofit Housing Association, which is the umbrella organization for all the nonprofits, the Co-op Housing Federation of British Columbia, also an umbrella for the co-ops in the province, Metro Vancouver, of course, and the Tract Tenants Resource and Advisory Center, which is the Advocates for Renters. So what we're doing is putting this group together along with the group that Maureen represents, and say, let's all do this, let's see what the problems are, and let's see how we solve them. So what is the problem? Well, the problem is that there's families with modest income, which the average total rental household income is $38,000. So these people are at risk. And when housing costs more than 30% of household incomes, money for other essentials is limited. Limited for all the things that you might need for a family or an individual, or for your education, or to have some respite from what's happening in the surrounding, and you're seeing other people having a little bit different lifestyle because you can't afford it. There's about 80,000 renter households are spending 30% or more on housing costs. And about 31,000 rental households are spending 50% or more of income on housing costs, and they're considered at risk for homelessness. Now, we're battling that homelessness now, and we're winning that battle. But if we have more people coming onto the homeless scene, then we're back into the same problem that we've been experiencing. But either incomes have to go up or the rents have to come down. So the lack of affordable housing makes it difficult to maintain a visible workforce for the local economy. Now, service sector workers and low-wage working families cannot afford to live in the Lower Mainland. And so when I came in this morning, and when these people are going to work, many of them probably are in that sector. And you just have to take that ride to live the ride that you're doing here in the Lower Mainland. So students and the recent graduates starting out in the workforce, they have trouble finding decent, affordable housing. And affordable rental housing is needed for the increasing population of our seniors. The number of seniors seeking rental housing continues to increase, and it will continue to increase because that demographic bubble is here. And if we look in this audience today, including myself, we're part of that. But there's many of the people who don't have the same income levels and don't have the same backgrounds as some of us more fortunate ones are. In my day, when I was young, everybody had a home. When you started out, you might not have had the biggest homes as we experience today. 1,200 square foot would give you a family home. You could have 2 or 3 or 4 children in that size of a home. We didn't have the problems with work. All these things are adding up now to a limited amount of income coming into people and a difficulty in having their homes. So will the problem go away? No, it'll get worse for 3 reasons. Real income is not growing. The rental demand is high and it's going to continue, and the rental supply is not being built and hasn't been built for many, many years. The annual demand is 6,500 new rental units, and about 5,000 of these are needed for households with incomes less than $45,000. So a large portion of the existing rental stock is at the end of its lifespan. And again, coming from the city of New Westminster or communities that are built up, we've got our buildings that have been there since 1920, 1930, and they're old. And they are less costly, but they don't give a good life position for people to be able to live in. So these will have to be looked at right away. And will the problem go away? There's a chart that you'll see here. And when you see everything, it's a shrinking supply. That chart is very, very explicative of what's going on. Condo rentals, very few people can afford them, and they're 12%, they're high rent. Basement suites are everywhere, but are they good? Are they, I mean, in my position at the City Hall, I constantly see people who are coming and sending me messages, can you come and help me? The electricity isn't working. The water isn't working. The doors don't open. The windows don't open. There's no heat in the place. We've got to do something with these secondary suites to make sure we can control them. There's social housing and then rental housing. The substandardness is just as bad as not having any rental. So why do we have the coalition? The problems can't be solved individually. It's got to be solved by a single level, and it can't be solved by a single level of government in isolation. It's up to all of us. Every single one of you sitting in this room can be a part of it. The private sector, the developers, the landlords, the nonprofit organizations, the tenants, the financial sectors, and all levels of government. If we do not fight this as it is a battle, we will not win it, and we have to start with it together. On the supply, we have 600 new purpose-built rental housing units built annually in the region over the last 5 years. 600. We said we needed 6,500. I think there's a little bit of discrepancy there. Now, the secondary suites provide some portion for the low-end rental demand, but the capacity is actually very limited. Condo rentals, as I said, they're available, but they're at the high end. And they're 20% higher or 40% than older purpose-built rentals, especially for large families. So I guess in general what I'd like to say is that from a municipal point of view, from Metro Vancouver's point of view, we want to work together. We want everyone in this room to participate and to help us put together this coalition so that the people back east and the people across this country will help us take this problem that's not for just New Westminster nor British Columbia, it's spread across the country.